what's up, everybody?
Hello.
It's your hosts. We got Dylan from Dyligent Picks and my buddy
Lucas from Ligure Film.
We haven't practiced this yet, so I'm just kind of like, should I say them both names or should I let
that's
Lucas
good.
lead the way? Yeah. So, anywho, we are back with episode 3 of our Mile a Minute movie talk. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. It's been a fun first month of podcasting. Speaking of podcasting, we are officially a podcast now.
Yes, as of last week, we have the first 2 episodes for the podcast from YouTube on most streaming platforms, if not all of them. We have it on, the big ones, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Apple. That was the big one I was missing. But yeah, we have it on pretty much everything. So if you want to listen to it instead of watching it, usually more convenient, especially if you're working or something. We have it on pretty much every platform. If there's one that it's not on, just let us know and we can try to get it on there.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to provide links in all of the episodes from here on, and we'll make sure to go back on the other YouTube videos and update those so you can see the links in there.
Yes.
In case that's how you'd prefer to watch it. And one other thing I want to mention is we do have chapters in our YouTube videos. I don't know if that's possible in podcasts, but...
Yeah, I do not know. I don't think so, but
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we'll have chapters in the description, and that way if there's something very specific you want to tune in for, I'll give you a brief update on what we plan to talk about today. Obviously, we mentioned last week we were going to do our Oscar reactions to the nominations.
Yes.
We did talk about seeing The Last of Us, which I had not seen, and both of us are now caught up on. So we
completely, yes.
We can do a little spoiler conversation chat.
Mm-hmm.
We will touch base on some industry news. I will let Lucas report on MoviePass.
MoviePass? We're going to do that right now?
And,
everybody.
Yeah, that'll be coming up very shortly. And of course, we will go back at the end things. We will talk about what we watched this week and what we plan to watch coming up. And as well as, I guess, some other Oscar predictions we have for the coming weeks before the big ceremony.
Yes.
Well, without any further suspense, I am dying to know what's going on with MoviePass because I did not have time to figure that out today.
Yes, so I just got an email literally at 1:38 p.m. today. It is currently 5 hours ago. That it was like, time's running out for MoviePass. And I was like, what? Because originally when MoviePass relaunched and rolled out, they're like, we're only doing it in like Kansas City and like some other cities. But apparently, if you signed up for the beta, they are now letting you do it almost full swing like it was. Pretty interesting. It's pay and you get like certain credits, and then each showing is like a certain credit amount. So like matinees are like 10 credits usually. Later showings are like 20 credits, and then like premieres are like 30 credits. And it depends how much you pay. You get a certain amount of credits, and then you redeem them. So that's how it looks so far. I'm looking at it. I just got the basic $10 one just to mess around. Even though I work in a movie theater and I get free movies, I just wanted to see how it looked out. It looks pretty interesting. I'll probably use it when I like go out of town. Can't watch a movie at the theaters I work at, but it'll be interesting to see how it works working in a theater this time, because I heard it was horrible the first time from my manager. So working in one part-time, it'll be interesting to see from perspective, because a lot of people come in and be like, I bought the movie, and then show your phone, and then they're like, well, you have to buy the ticket on like the website and then have the actual ticket instead of just coming in and say you want to watch a movie and that you have MoviePass. It's very interesting. I don't know how it works. I didn't really use it that much the first time. I think I got like the last month, but yeah, MoviePass is back. Will it save theaters this time?
The goal, or will they go bankrupt again? And
yes,
I'm very much looking forward to your perspective being in the industry now, because
yeah, it'll be an interesting weekly report.
I'm also curious how quickly it'll catch on. Like,
yeah,
the previous one caught fire, especially if it is $10 a month once again, which was
is the cheapest one. But now that they have a tiered system, it's like with the credits, you can get like $40 a month, and it tells you how many movies you're able to buy with that amount when you sign up. So it's like, I think $40 a month is like 9 to 11 movies a month.
Maybe
It's not. I don't think there's an unlimited tier, which is the thing.
Oh, okay. But you might find yourself using it more than you think, because
Yeah.
even though you work in a company that owns 3 movie theaters in town, there's still a couple of movie theaters in our county that you might like. They might be only showing a specific movie or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If I ever go south more, that's pretty much when I'll use it.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
Since MoviePass originally came out, there's been a bunch of all the brands have like their own MoviePass system now. So like Alamo Drafthouse has one, Regal has one, AMC has one. So it'll be interesting to see people cut off of those so they have more free reigns or something like that. But yeah, interesting news.
Yeah, I missed the opportunity to provide a prop of my MoviePass card, which I do still own. So I can maybe next week when it's back in.
Hey, you can get a new card now. They're shipping me one. 10 days, 10 business days.
Did you have to get a new one?
Yeah, because it's a new company.
Gotcha. Well, everybody, my roommate is coming in right now, so I'm going to say hi to him. Hello, roommate.
Hello, Jay.
Yeah, he's getting home from work or the gym. I'm not quite sure. I'll ask
Probably
him
the
later.
gym.
So, let's see. We shall move on to
the big newowski.
The big discussion.
Yes.
Oscars 2023, the 95th ceremony. So last week, if you guys recall, we did a little prediction of sorts,
yes,
where we picked 11 films to be the Best Picture nominees this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if my tallying is correct, we got 3 to 4 wrong.
I think it was 3 to 4, but they only nommed 10. So technically, we like nommed 4 wrong, but they picked 7 of the ones that we picked. So that's not too bad. 70%.
Well, let's just exclude RRR and say we got 3 wrong.
Yeah, because that was our fun guess.
Yes. So we got Pinocchio wrong.
Yes.
What else did we get wrong?
All Quiet on the Western Front was our first one out, as we said in the previous podcast. We got that one wrong. That was our one that we would have picked if we didn't pick a fun pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, that one was the wrong one. One that they picked that we didn't pick. Another one was Triangle of Sadness.
Yes. So Lucas, I believe, had All Quiet on the Western Front, and I was kind of pulling for Triangle of Sadness. We just couldn't agree.
Yeah, we couldn't agree. We couldn't get rid of. I see. Yeah, we were adamant about like Babylon. Like, they have to nominate that. That's a Hollywood movie.
Yeah. So Babylon was our third of those 3. Of those 4 total.
I'm pretty happy with what we got. We only got we only got the 3 wrong. What was it? Triangle of Sadness, All Quiet on the Western Front, and was there another one?
Yeah.
We said Tar, right?
Yeah.
There wasn't another one. How many did they want?
I believe there was that we didn't say. It might have just been those 2.
Woman Talking, Top Gun Maverick, Tar, Fableman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Elvis, Banshees of Inisherin, Avatar, and All Quiet on the Western Front. I think
No, I think you're right. We did not pick 2 of them, but we were wrong about them.
So we got 3 wrong.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and as far as just the nominees go, I mean, I'm pretty happy about it overall.
I'm very happy they picked Women Talking over She Said, in my opinion. I'm way more excited about that movie. I don't even know if I'll see She Said because it didn't get any nominations. I will be watching She Said only because Netflix shipped it to me, so I should be getting it soon. But other than that, I'm not that excited to see it. They're pretty similar subject matters, but
one's more of a
Women Talking seems more interesting, and Hollywood doesn't really like nominating movies about them.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Women Talking.
Yeah.
I think the premise I like that it's more of a period piece versus She Said was only a few years ago, so it still feels very too fresh. Like not enough time has passed for me to be
exactly
interested in it. But also since we lived through it, it's not as
and it's still going on. Why are you making a movie about it?
Right. But let's see. Oh, of course, just the blockbuster love. We got Top Gun Maverick and Avatar. Which was great. I knew Top Gun would get all the technical categories, as much of them as possible.
Very surprised didn't get cinematography, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will get into that. But yeah, pretty much all of these I thought were good, solid choices. So I'm not really that disappointed. I do think it was interesting that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever did not get nominated while Black Panther did, and I do think the sequel was a better film overall.
Yeah.
So, but there was a lot of interesting snubs. That one I'm okay with being a Marvel film. I'm not like that disheartened. But let's see. Shall we go into the next one? We can always go back to Best Picture. Actor in a leading role. We had Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for Aftersun, and Bill Nighy for Living.
Yes, I am pretty okay with that. I like. What's the only other one that I would have picked that like I knew it was not going to get picked at all is like Alexander Skarsgård for like Northman or something.
Oh, the Northman completely shut out, and I didn't even realize that until like a day or two after the announcement.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, the Northman, they didn't nominate it, and then I was like pretty bummed for a good minute.
Yeah, and then maybe definitely like Daniel Kaluuya again for Nope. I feel like he had a good chance of getting
Nope
on,
was
but
just also completely snubbed.
Yeah, completely snubbed another one, as well as this one, which we'll talk about in the next category. The shirt I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But Bill Nye, whatever. It's like he's been nominated before, but he's never won, so I was surprised.
I'm not too familiar with his filmography, so I am interested in Living.
He's been supporting in a lot of movies, from what I was looking at. I
did think of all the nominees I've seen, Elvis, Banshees, and I haven't seen The Whale, but I did think both Austin Butler and Colin Farrell were excellent. I've obviously heard you've seen The Whale, so you can tell me how good Brendan Fraser was.
Very good. I really liked it. I'll talk about that more in depth, but yeah, he did great in that. Definitely like very, very emotional, but he was like such a gripping character in that film. But it was like a really good return. It shows that like he can actually do serious roles, which he never really did as much back in the day, except for when he was really younger.
Yeah, and I think the dark horse, kind of the newcomer here that not a lot of people may know of, is Paul Mescal. I like that choice because I've heard a lot of good things, and I have seen him he's in this series with Daisy Edgar Jones, who was in the new film When the Crawdads Sing. He's in this series called something about like it's like a Hulu series. I can't quite remember the name. I'd have to Google it right now, but
he won something for that. So
he was, from what I had seen in that show, he was really good. So I'm happy for him that he. It's always nice that they do take a chance and nominate people that are kind of breaking.
Yeah, that was very very much a film that was very popular in the like online discourse scene of just what should be nominated, like what are the best roles, like Paul Mescal, and it came out like later in the year, and it just had been like snowballing and getting way more hype, and like people saying you need to watch it and stuff like that. It's another sad movie, very much on similar vein of Whale with like father issues and stuff like that. But it's 90 minutes. I heard it's really good. My I've had some what's it called? My couple of my bosses have seen them and stuff like that, and they said they really liked it. So I'm definitely gonna watch it soon. Maybe this week it'll be on my watch list. But yeah, I definitely like him. I mean, he is, I don't know if it's unofficial or not, if they're broken up, but he is Phoebe Bridgers' ex or current boyfriend.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
No, Phoebe Bridger, the singer.
Oh, she's I'm not familiar with her.
She's from Sonoma County. She's like really famous now. Yeah, she did like SNL.
I'm embarrassed of my hometown knowledge now.
Or not. She's been around here. She has a place up here. Anyway, but yeah, he was a really interesting pick, but I definitely still think it's a 3-man race between Elvis, Banshee, or Austin Butler, Colin Farrell, and Brendan Fraser. I definitely still think. But Paul Mescal getting nominated, definitely really nice to have.
Yeah. Overall, no real complaints with this category.
Yeah.
Let's see. Actor in a supporting role?
Yeah, actor in a supporting, I guess. Just right below
it. Yeah. Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin. Everyone saw that coming. Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway.
Very happy about that. Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I really like him, and that was a nice surprise. Judd Hirsch and the Fablemans.
Mm-hmm.
Very now. Okay, we need to clear the air because there's been some different pronunciations on his name.
Kyogen.
I've heard Keown, I've heard Kyogen, and
Yeah.
I at this point, Allison Williams on live television said Barry Keoghan, so that's how I'm pronouncing it at this time.
Yeah.
For the Banshees of Inisherin, so 2 Banshee nominees, and then Ke-Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
So
Apparently, it's Kogan.
Kogan, there you go, Barry Kogan. So for now, we will both pronounce it as best rolls off our tongues until somebody can further clarify.
For that, I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued. I like some of those nominations. Barry Keoghan, very cool that he got nominated. He's definitely someone that came up from like nothing, getting, not lucky chances, earning these like chances and like working his way hard into like the industry and getting nominated. And that was really great because he was a foster kid. His mother died when he was 12. He like hopped around foster houses like 13 in like 7 years or something. I was like reading about it. So that's like a pretty awesome story.
Wow.
That he like has him and his family has like come up from that, him and his siblings. So that's cool. Ke-Huy Quan also a great comeback story. I think he is the favorite just because he won the Golden Globe and also like everybody loves him. I mean, it's him or Brendan Gleeson. I feel like, in my opinion. Jude Hirsch, very weird nomination in my opinion. I did not see the guy who had like one scene in Fablemans getting nominated. I mean, he's a long actor. I wouldn't say like legendary, but he's been in so many things. He's been nominated before, and now he set the record for longest time in between 2 nominations. I don't know if they picked him because of that, but he definitely won't win. But he has like, I think, one of the least amount of screen time for a supporting role to get nominated, which is insane.
Yeah, I've heard a good amount of talk of all these nominees. So I do agree that Everything Everywhere, Ke-Huy Quan is so much the front runner here. I think if there was someone who should absolutely win based on the story alone, and he's been leading the this category in every other awards and winning it. So I'm really hoping he will win. I do think both Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan are excellent, and I'm glad they both got nominated.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Brendan Gleeson in a lot of stuff other than In Bruges, but
he's great in stuff.
Other than like with Barry Keoghan, I was super. He's one of those people that like I'm really excited for him to get a nomination because I remember when The Killing of a Sacred Deer came out, also a film starring him and Colin Farrell. There was that spaghetti scene that everyone loved, and he was so good in that film.
Yeah,
and I remember that year you and I probably were like really hoping like there's this outside chance.
Yeah,
that was And
I honestly didn't like that movie that much, but I thought that he would have got nominated because he was like the best thing in that movie.
That was kind of my takeaway.
Yeah.
He was so good, and I really thought it was his first like big role.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he had that small role in Dunkirk, and that was about it.
Oh, there you go.
But that just came out the same year.
Yeah. So I think at the time he was just not known enough, and now he's really come around since then. And then Brian Tyree Henry, that was just a really cool surprise nomination. Not only that, it was like the only Apple TV Plus film that's in this category. And those who may remember, Coda was an Apple TV Plus film, last year's Best Picture nominee. And I've just heard, I've seen him in a few films over the past few years. I thought he was great in Bullet Train.
Yeah, people said that he did really good in If Beale Street Could Talk, which I have not seen.
I have seen that, and I remember I loved the film, and I guess at the time, looking back, I can remember him being in it, but I think I need to watch it again to really like look at his performance and see what it was.
Yeah, he started out on like stage, and then he really broke through with Atlanta, though. Like him in Atlanta was so good, and I love that show.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of range.
Yeah, I'm very glad that he's like, he kind of got like put into a blockbusters, a lot of them as like a supporting character, and so that he's like kind of going into like stuff that feels like more like in line with his performances he did in Atlanta. I like.
Yeah. Well, other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with this list. It's an
Yeah.
interesting list.
Yeah.
But I don't have any complaints.
Yeah, actress in the leading role.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett for Tar, Anna de Armas for Blonde, Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie, Michelle Williams in The Fableman, and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and it's a very stacked list of talented women within the industry.
Yeah.
Should we get the elephant out of the room?
Yeah, Anna de Armas. I mean, if she got nominated for a Razzie, I mean that's only happened not that much, but it's happened like 5 times or 3 times where they've been nominated for a Razzie and also an Oscar. And I mean, she's good in her role, but I don't think that she deserved it over some of these other performances that we had. But it's how the Academy works.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, on paper, if I had known nothing about Blonde, and before Blonde came out, I was thinking that was going to be Best Picture.
Exactly,
it was going to be one of the best films of the year based on the trailers and my excitement for it, for Marilyn Monroe. And so, like, I knew that she was probably going to get nominated at that time, but then as time went on, with how poorly the film was, how polarizing the film was for a lot of people, it became more of an outside shot. So I am pretty surprised that she got it, but at the same time, I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised. I was like, they might just fill it out and just pick a movie that they know the director, know who produced it, blah blah blah. And so it's one of those. But it's very much, I think, a 2-person race. Though Michelle Williams could sneak in. She's won before though and been nominated like 3 times. So I don't know. If she will get it.
I don't think she will. I think she was. I actually think she was another surprise. I think there were 2. She and both Ana de Armas were some surprise outside nominees.
No, the biggest surprise, in my opinion, is
right.
Andrea Riseborough. I did not know that movie existed.
Okay, you are very correct. She is definitely the biggest surprise.
Like Michelle, coming in, it wasn't that strong of a class. Like all the snubs you knew were kind of going to be snubbed, which were like from horror movies and like stuff like that. Like obviously Pearl, but like Michelle Williams, she was a favorite in a lot of them. She was originally going to be for supporting actress, but then the film came out and it got way better reception. So then they started pitching her as lead actress, and so that was. But yeah, I definitely feel like that she has a good nominated for 5 Oscars now. So yeah, she's a mainstay. She's one of the best actresses of the last 20 years, but she's never won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I do agree though that Kate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh are the absolute front runners. They're one of them is gonna win. But there was some real interesting snubs and a few that I have to address. And I think the big one that it's written on all over Lucas's shirt is Mia Goth from Pearl, which we all knew was gonna happen.
Yeah.
The Academy.
Toni Collette 2.0.
Toni Collette, Florence Pugh Toni Collette in Hereditary, Florence Pugh in Midsommar, Lupita Nyong'o in Us. It is just another amazing horror film performance to add to the collection.
Yes, especially female actresses too.
Yes,
in horror films that they've just been snubbing repeatedly. But I would have definitely picked that over Blonde, maybe even To Leslie, but I haven't seen it, and I read the synopsis, and it sounds really cool. It's not that long of a movie, so I might watch it this week. Don't know.
I'm definitely going to check it out because
definitely going to.
I found it very interesting that I believe it's Andrea Riseborough. She basically self-campaigned her Oscar nomination.
She got like really popular within the film community for that role.
And so I thought that was a really interesting way to get nominated.
Yeah.
And a cool way to get your name out there, because I had no idea who she was. I'm sure I've seen her in something.
Mandy.
There you go.
She's in Mandy. She's in Birdman.
Okay.
I just kept seeing screen caps of her in the Matilda movie that came out this year, and then she was in To Leslie. But she was in Possessor too. What? What? I didn't realize that was her. She
Okay.
does a lot of crazy movies.
I can definitely
and
see
then
that
she'll
now.
do like some interesting ones in between there. But yeah, she was in Possessor and Mandy, so like definitely the weird horror movie vibe.
But I do think the biggest snub that people are really not happy about is Danielle Deadwyler for Till. She was that was
Yeah,
like one that was like an absolute lock, and people are really. I haven't seen Till. I've just heard her performance is incredible, and people
yeah.
have been saying from the beginning that like there is no way she doesn't get nominated. So
Yeah,
so
that was definitely one I totally forgot about that, but that was one remembering what I was reading on Tuesday was that she got snubbed and people were really mad about that.
so I will see that film because I really do want to see her performance.
Hmm.
But other than that, I do think it's a very interesting list, and there's two films here I still need to see in The
Yeah,
Fablemans and To Leslie. So
yeah. Mine's To Leslie and Tar.
nice.
Actress in a supporting role, so Angela Bassett for Black Panther 2, Hong Shao for The Whale. What? Carrie Condon, I don't know.
Condon.
And Banshees of Inisherin, and then Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Shu for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
Which that
That's a
is that I have no I know who I want to win, which is Stephanie, but I don't have any idea who is going to win.
I think this is
that's
the
where I'm
hardest.
leaving that.
I think this is one of if not the most exciting categories this year because I really don't know who's going to win this category.
Yeah. Like Hong Shu's, I was like, I saw her nominated. The nominations came out the day I saw The Whale, and I was like, what? And I saw The Whale, I was like, whoa. That was like, it was a really good performance. She's in the menu.
Yeah.
She's the waitress in the menu. And I was like, oh, that was a good year for her. She's having a great year. Like, she was very different in both of those roles, and I loved her in The Whale. She was pretty fun. But yeah, I haven't seen Banshees, but Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Shu. I definitely feel like Stephanie does a little bit better, obviously, than Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is kind of like a funny one-off character, but she did really good in that movie. But like, you know, she's Jamie Lee Curtis. I think they just want her there. But I feel like Stephanie definitely deserves it over her. She's my favorite to win, but yeah, I haven't seen that. Angela Bassett's great in Black Panther. But I don't think it's anything insanely great compared to like some of these other roles. But yeah, definitely like Hong and Stephanie for these. And I haven't seen Banshee, so I can't comment on Carrie.
I would pretty much be happy if any of them won.
Yeah, at this point,
yeah.
until I see Carrie and Banshees, I would say I honestly any one of these people deserve it.
Yeah. So Angela Bassett, she elevated Black Panther to another level for me because of just that like scene where she's with Okoye and like telling her that, you know, she's going to have to like step down from her role and all of that. Like she brought like such an emotional depth that we like hardly ever, if ever, see in a Marvel film.
She brought she was the force in that movie. And it's like, she was definitely the like main one that was like, just was gripping a lot of the scenes. She stole every scene that she was in almost. So it was like, it was definitely a performance you're not that used to for like a Marvel movie, I guess. I mean, at least for a non-mainline Avengers movie, there's some good ones in, but she still probably had like one of the best acting, if not the best acting in like a Marvel movie ever in that movie.
Yeah, and
she's the only one to be nominated. So
yeah, no, I'm very happy she's nominated. I think she might be the front runner at this time, but we will see.
I can see that. Yeah, she won Golden Globe, so.
And Hong Chau was very good in the menu, and I think that's an exciting nomination here too for her. So I still need to see The Whale, but I'm very much looking forward to her performance. Jamie Lee Curtis, well deserved. I think it was an outside shot that both her and Stephanie Sue were going to get nominated. So I think it was very cool that they both got nominated. I do think there's a chance they'll cancel each other out because that tends to happen.
Yeah.
But Jamie Lee Curtis had never been nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh, that's interesting.
Which is crazy. So
yeah, she's always at them because they always nominate her movies, but never her. So that's good for.
And then, did I leave someone out?
Nope.
Oh, Carrie Condon. So, Carrie Condon, I was watching Banshees of Inisherin wondering to myself, I was like, who is she? Where have I seen her in? First, I thought she was Rebecca Ferguson. And then I was like, I looked it up later and I realized that she is Mike's daughter in Better Call Saul. That's Carrie Condon.
Oh my God.
Right?
That's funny.
And so I was like, holy crap. Oh yeah, she's really good. Even though that's just like a brief role where you don't see her often.
Yeah, she
she's
didn't
good at
have
what she does.
not many crazy movies that she was in, but she's been a what's it called?
Supporting
She's
or?
she was she's been a stage actress. She's well regarded in that, it looks like.
I think what I was very happy about in general was with Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Banshees of Inisherin,
Mhm.
that pretty much every single main actor / character in those films got nominated, and they were all well deserved great
Yeah.
performances. So
Yeah, that's the thing that this year compared to like maybe the last 2 years have been very good for the nominations that got nominated. I mean, there's obviously snubs, but like for the
yeah,
people that got nominated, pretty much like a really high percentage of them compared to previous years deserved it or over people that got snubbed.
yeah, for sure. Best
Animated.
This is where I
Dylan's
get
Domain.
really mad. Just kidding. Yeah, I will lead the way. We have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. Now, I predicted all but 4 of these nominations.
Mm-hmm. Sea Beast.
Yes, Sea Beast was a surprise. I have not seen it, so I cannot comment on that. With me, when it comes to animated feature, diversity is key. And I feel that having not only 2 Netflix films, if you want to look at Pinocchio as like a Netflix film, even though it's Guillermo del Toro, so it gets a pass for me. But I'd rather see. I would love to have seen at least one anime get in, because I feel like lately, the past few years, I don't think we've had an anime film nominated for an Oscar since maybe Mirai from 2017.
Yeah, it's just a genre that has been treated like horror, where they do not respect it.
I think that's absolutely going to change this next year, because we have the two best anime directors working today in Hayao Miyazaki and Makoto Shinkai, both coming out with new films in 2023. So if one of them does not get nominated, I am never going to watch the Oscars again. You heard it right there on a live recording.
Wow. I'll see it when I believe it.
But back to the nominees. So Pinocchio, I have seen. I thought it was fantastic. It's the clear front runner. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, I'm very happy to see nominated. That was another very sweet, wholesome film. And technically, I guess, 2 stop motion films in that regard, with Pinocchio and Marcel. What else we got here? Turning Red, another decent Pixar effort. I thought it was fun. I'm glad Pixar got in, but it's not the best film.
Yeah, Pixar, doesn't deserve to get in every year, but they just do, because, Disney essentially owns the Oscars.
I'd rather see either one Disney or one Pixar film and not both every single year.
Yeah.
So I'm content, because Turning Red was fun enough. And from an animation standpoint, it was very well done. And then what am I missing? Am I missing one? Oh, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I still need to see that, and I know you've seen it. I'm very excited to see it.
Last week.
I'm very excited to see that. So overall, I'm content, but I would have loved to see a film like Innuo from Masaki Yuasa, who is just a fantastic and weird director of anime films. I would love to have seen that get in. And that film itself is crazy and so fun. We'll have to watch it sometime. So
yes. I've only seen Puss in Boots and Turning Red. Definitely Puss in Boots, I feel like, is a front runner in the, at least, audience discourse, the audience realm. Definitely don't know what will actually win. I feel like it'd probably be Pinocchio. I feel like that's the front runner in the voting, because it's Guillermo del Toro. But definitely need to watch Pinocchio. Gonna watch Marcel this week. Sea Beast and Turning Red. So yeah,
nice.
Good nominations, but yeah, anime snubbed per usual.
For sure. I'm happy with the nominations. There was no one that I was like, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, why did that get nominated? Nothing like that. So yeah, I can't complain.
Now, some of these we're going to go quickly over, just because we'll probably talk about them more in later weeks. But like cinematography, All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. We have only seen, I think, I haven't seen any of these, actually. So.
I've seen All Quiet on the Western Front, Elvis, and Tar.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
Bardo's only nomination, I think.
Yeah, the only nomination for...
It did not do great at the critics. So, but yeah, that one we'll definitely talk about more once we both see more, and also when we get closer to our mock ballots.
Yes. For now, I will say, just briefly, Top Gun Maverick not being nominated for cinematography is extremely strange to me.
Yes, yeah.
It feels like one of those situations where like they were all voting for something else because they all assumed that someone else was going to pick Top Gun. Like they're like, that's getting in for sure. I'll just vote for this.
Yeah, because that's definitely seems like a weird one.
But I'm fine with moving on.
Yeah, costume design, Babylon, Black Panther 2, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris.
Oh, Mrs. Harris. One nom for Mrs. Harris. Yeah.
Yeah, it got it also for Golden Globe, so I think that's where they're just showing her in.
I think these are all amazing costumes. I have no complaints.
I feel like Black Panther 2 might win it. I feel like anytime you do some type of cultural aspect in a really good regard for a costume, rather than like a period piece, I feel like, in my personal opinion, it should do better. And Black Panther 2 had really good like costume design for like the funeral scene and like all this stuff. It was pretty great. Everything Everywhere All at Once though had some really crazy costumes, and also costumes that were on the screen for like 2 seconds. So there was some fun stuff. But yeah, definitely I feel like those, and then my sleeper maybe Babylon. I think that's one of its 2 nominations I got.
Yeah, this is always a tough category because they either go with the like
period piece or the
But it's I need to look up on what happened with Black Panther, because I want to say Black Panther the original did not win this category, but I could be wrong. I know it won.
I think it won.
I know it either won this or it lost this and won production design. I can't remember, but it was one of those exact scenarios where it was going up against an old Hollywood film.
Black Panther costume design as the first African American to win the costume design of the
That's
Oscars.
right. So I could see it winning again, but because of that, I could also see them giving it to someone else.
Yes.
So
directing.
Yeah.
Is what we'll move on to next. We're just doing this in a weird order because that's just how the Oscars website has it.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. Directing, Banshees of Inisherin, Martin McDonagh. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg. Tar, Todd Field. And Triangle of Sadness, Ruben Östlund.
Yeah. Directing is tough. I feel like 4 out of 5 of these I'm totally fine with.
Yeah. Spielberg's won before. He's probably my least person that I want to win. Everyone else I would want to win. I just don't want him to win because he's already won. He won for I think he's won once himself for Schindler's List. I don't know if he won again or was just nominated, but yeah.
I would love for the Daniels to win. I do think Ruben Östlund was the surprise. I would have been much happier if, say, S.S. Rajamouli from RRR was nominated.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, there's Avatar, James Cameron. You know, there's a lot of people. Okay. The director of Women Talking, Sarah Polley. Somebody, you know, a female director should have gotten nominated.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg's won 2 for Best Director.
There you go.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, if he wins 3 for Best Director, I feel like there's other ones of his movies that he should have won for instead of this one. And he's been nominated 2016, 2018, and 2022.
I think Sarah Polley, who I believe directed Women Talking, should have gotten the nomination just to have at least one, because this is going to be another one of those years where people are gonna look at that list and be like, "Yeah, you guys messed up."
I think in my opinion, I think it'll be Everything Everywhere All at Once is my favorite. I feel like Tar will get it just because I know the critics love Todd Field. There was like so much written about how he just disappeared. He hadn't made a movie in 15 years until he made Tar. And he was like such a favorite when he was making other movies. And they're like, critics were writing articles about like, where the hell's Todd Fields? Because he had all these projects that fell through. And, but yeah, Todd Field, fun fact, he helped create Big League Chew the gum. What?
No. And you happen to have that. Right. You were prepared.
He's another one that's not like really like didn't come from anyone famous. You know, he was kind of made his own way in the industry. But yeah, definitely I really want the Daniels one. I think that'd be a very fun speech, and I feel like they deserve it. I feel like they'll win that or screenplay, but I feel like they might get screenplay and they'll give this to Todd Field or Martin McDonagh. Because Martin McDonagh, I don't think he's won, has he?
I don't think so, but there's a chance.
The only chance that he would have won would have been for
3 Billboards.
3 Billboards, and I don't think he won that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, he's never been nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, he won.
He won. Yeah, no, he hasn't won for anything.
He hasn't. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't get nominated for director until now. He won for a best live action short film in 2006.
Well,
After that, documentary features, I feel like.
so
is the
we'll
next
make this brief. I
Yes.
haven't seen a single documentary this year.
Neither have I.
Or last year.
I've heard things about Fire of Love. All That Breathes, I've heard is good. Everything else, it'll be interesting. You have to watch them.
I'm very intrigued to see Fire of Love, which I believe is on
Same.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, that one is very popular.
I will also likely watch Navalny.
Mhm.
The other three are not currently. Well, I think All the Beauty and Bloodshed might be in theaters.
Yeah, that one is. I've heard some stuff about it, and I need to remember what it's about because
Yeah.
rare footage and intimate interviews providing insight into the life and work of renowned photographer, activist Nan Golden. Yeah, I think it was at the theater when I first started working there. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yes.
Definitely a lot of different subjects and some very intriguing things, volcanoes and all that. So it'll be fun.
Documentary short film.
Films. I feel like we won't even talk about any of these, but yeah, all the short film categories, we're going to say the titles, then move on because we're all going to watch these when they do the short film showings.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one, there's a movie called The Elephant Whisperer, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate. So we'll be watching those eventually.
Yeah. Film editing.
Yes.
Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick.
Everything Everywhere All at Once or Top Gun Maverick should win this. I won't be mad if if either of them win, but if anything else wins, I'll be mad because
all of these films I thought were very well edited, but like the Banshees and Tar are very quiet editing.
Yeah,
like it's not flashy. Versus
it's a very
Elvis.
skillful, just like experienced style of editing of telling a dramatic narrative. But Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun have just some crazy stuff going on, and
Elvis too, just because it's
Elvis
like every
too.
4 seconds it's like a new shot. So.
Yeah. I really think Everything Everywhere All at Once should, just because it's editing. Yeah, it's such a uniquely done film.
I'd be happy with that or Top Gun.
Definitely be happy for either of those.
International.
Next up, international. All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina 1985, Close, EO, and The Quiet Girl.
I will say, other than the fact that India did not nominate or submit RRR.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah. Biggest bag fumble of all time.
I'm very happy with this list because all of these films look very interesting. And I have seen All Quiet on the Western Front, which I will briefly touch on later.
Only one of these is nominated for Best Picture, so you could go down that route where you just pick the Best Picture one.
It's going to win.
It's probably going to win. I feel like it's the American audience of the Academy likes All Quiet on the Western Front more than a war movie, or not a war movie, a dictator movie in Argentina 1985. They haven't won. They've nominated movies about like South American liberation and like struggles with dictatorships and stuff like that, but they've never really picked them. And I feel like a lot of them just like group them all together and like, it's another one of these. I'm not going to vote for that when it's completely different. But yeah, I definitely heard really good things about that movie. But I think All Quiet on the Western Front is definitely the favorite.
Yeah, when it's at this point, anytime an international film gets a Best Picture nom, it's going to win that category.
Yeah, that's why I feel like they do it so early.
Makeup and hairstyling.
All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, the lone nomination.
No, it got 3.
I know, it got 3. Black Panther 2, Elvis, and The Whale. Makeup and hairstyling. I am not expertise in this. I have a friend that works in this though, but I would be. I think that a lot of these are good, so I feel like I wouldn't be mad at any of them. I feel like maybe Elvis.
I mean, honestly, they're all amazing, just in terms of like when I think of all these movies, the actual makeup and hairstyling, it stands out. Like I just watched All Quiet on the Western Front. There are some insane makeup and like things they put on the face of these characters who have like dirt just covering them. And then obviously The Whale, the prosthetics.
Same with the Batman. There's some crazy prosthetics they put on like Colin Farrell.
Right, and or just even just what's his name? Patrick,
Robert Pattinson looks.
Even his just his look.
I definitely feel like that'd be a fun one to win, but yeah.
Music original score.
All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. Out of the ones I've seen, the ones that stuck with me the most, I mean, the Babylon like repeating score is so fun.
Mm-hmm. All of these are really good. Like I just saw a few, like 3 of these movies I've seen within the last month. You know, so like All Quiet has a really good like kind of like eerie score that uses a lot of drumming, and Babylon, I love the score of that. Banshees has a really good like kind of dark score. Everything Everywhere just has a like kind of a really emotional score at times.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Everything and Babylon are my favorite for that. But yeah, I haven't seen the other ones, so
yeah.
I mean, I've seen the Fabelmans, but I don't really remember the score that much.
It's John Williams, so he's kind of like he
just always gets nominated because why not?
Exactly.
Next up is music original song.
Oh, Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, a movie that I had not heard of at all before this nomination.
Yeah, it's a vignette movie. Multiple female directors directed, like I think it was 7 different ones, directed ones, and they put them together in a movie.
Yeah, Diane Warren gets a lot of nominations for this category.
Hold My Hand
from Top
Lady Gaga,
a great ending song.
Yeah,
at the end of the movie, Lift Me Up. Black Panther, another great ending song. But I'm gonna save the next one for last.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this because who I met yesterday.
Who?
Ryan Coogler.
No way.
He was at the Warriors game, and I got to say hi to him. I didn't really get to talk to him, but when I was working,
you got to say hello to the director.
Yeah, I got to say
Black
hi,
Panther?
and like he gave me a fist bump. He was when he was leaving the game because the Warriors won, so he was in a happy move. But yeah, I got to say hi to him. It was cool. I took a photo of him from like a distance, right when I was walking up to him. I wonder if I can pull it up real quick and
Lucas
shove it on my camera.
I'll read the last 2 nominees. We have This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once, another great song that kind of like surprisingly shows up in the film.
There's Ryan Coogler and his like girlfriend or wife.
This is a YouTube exclusive for those of you on the podcast.
Yeah, he was nice. He was taking photos with a bunch of random people, so I should have asked him for a photo, but he was like on his way. I was like, I would have to do my work anyway. But yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
And then the best for last, the best original song of the year, Natsu Natsu.
This Is a Life by Mitski and David Byrne. I can't believe how good of what?
No, all of these songs I met, like of the ones I've heard, I haven't heard Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, but these are all great songs. But when I look at the placement of the song, the usage of the song, Natsu Natsu is like key to like telling the story. These guys like did the song while dancing. Like,
I feel like that one should win because it's the most integral part to the movie that it's in, and also it's the one that I've probably heard the most out of it. Like, This Is a Life has Mitski and David Burns, but it's like the ending credit song.
Well, it's like I think it's not up like very near the end, but yeah, it's still both. I just feel like almost all these songs just feel like they're like an end credit song in general, except for Natsu Natsu.
Yeah, Natsu Natsu just feels like an echelon above, even though a lot of these are really good songs.
And that's a song I haven't gotten out of my head since I've seen that movie, and I've rewatched the scene and shown the scene to people who are probably never going to watch the movie just because it's so good. So I have not done that with any of these films.
Definitely feel like that should win, and
if the Oscars do not do a live performance from including the actors from that film, they do not know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
Someone needs to be doing that.
That's common.
Someone needs to make that their priority right now.
Yeah. Next is production design.
I think, because we skipped over.
Yeah, we did Best Picture first. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar 2, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelman.
Absolutely no complaints. I mean,
yeah. I'll be happy with everything except for maybe The Fabelman because there's nothing crazy there's nothing crazy in that. It's a lot of just like suburban life and like some cool stuff where he shot his original film, like original short films when he was a kid, remakes.
I feel like this is probably Avatar's category to lose.
I feel like it's Avatar, definitely to lose just because there's some crazy stuff they did with that.
Yeah.
Short film
animated. All right, I will. Would you like to embarrass yourself, or would you like me to embarrass myself?
You do it because you wanted to do a little.
All right. So for those of you who did not watch the announcement video, with Riz Ahmed and Allison Williams naming all of the nominees, I will just do my best to not to say this with a straight face when I go through these categories. We have The Boy, The Mole, The Fox and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks, An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. I mean, I think they just nominated these songs, or these films,
These short films,
because of the titles.
Yeah, they got some lot of, yeah, it'll be interesting to watch them. Same with live action. For live action, we have Ivalu, Les Pupilles, I think, Night Ride, The Red Suitcase, and An Irish Goodbye. So, yeah.
Until we see them, yeah.
Until we see them.
A few more categories here we'll just briefly touch on.
Yeah. Sound.
All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like it's Top Gun or Elvis to lose this.
Yeah.
I feel like musical films always win this, but yeah.
Visual effects.
I think we definitely know who's this is to lose.
I don't know.
Avatar 2, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther 2, and Top Gun Maverick.
I think I'm torn because Avatar is the visual effects film, but Top Gun Maverick has amazing.
Is the practical effects film?
Yeah. The Top Gun has the amazing visual effects cinematography. So it's like that. As long as one of these gets an award this year, at least one award, I will be happy.
Yeah, I feel like this is Top Gun will win this. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And last but not least, we have the 2 writings. So adaptive and original. First, adaptive. All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking.
I think it's pretty cool that Rian Johnson got a adapted and an original screenplay for his Knives Out now franchise.
Yes.
I think it's really cool that Top Gun Maverick got one because just based on the fact that it's a sequel 36 years in the making.
Yeah.
And that they did write it as well as they did for a blockbuster film that no one expected to have for the writing to be like the thing anyone talks about, which I still don't think it's the thing people are talking about, but it is cool that it got a nomination.
I feel like personally, Woman Talking might get this just because they didn't nominate her for Best Director. I feel like that they'll give her this. True.
And let's keep in mind that usually the film that wins writing, one of those films wins Best Picture. So that I'm a little interested. I think the Top Gun nomination is pretty interesting. So if Top Gun somehow wins Best Adapted and another film somehow wins Original, I think we might have a interesting Best Picture winner.
For original Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. I mean, it's just like Best Picture. I feel like everything should win this because it is just like the most dynamic, I feel. But
the most original, the most creative.
Yeah, the most original too, and most creative, and just like the insane amount of like diverse storytelling that goes on in that film, and just how they tell the story. It's just insane.
I will say if there's one category that this film does not win that I will actually be sad about, it's this category.
Yeah,
because I feel like how could you write a better?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, they should sweep a lot of these. They should be Best Picture, Director, Actress, Supporting Actor, maybe even Supporting Actress, and Writing.
I will say before we transition, the last thing I will say about this list, as a whole, very, very content with the Oscar nominations this year. But I'm most excited for the fact that Everything Everywhere All at Once got the leading nominations, which I did not see coming.
That was one that like everybody was like, oh, people are forgetting about this movie. The Academy won't respect this movie. And then as award season grew, it just kept staying in the focus. And then like this. So I feel like this is my favorite year in a while for Oscars. For nominations. There's just a lot of good nominations, a lot of diverse nominations. Should have been a little bit more, but definitely really good. So I'm pretty happy with it. We'll be talking about usually one or two of these a week, hopefully, or at least touching on them after we've seen more and more of the movies. So it'll be interesting.
We'll be going back to the Oscars, guys. We'll have to keep that going up until the ceremony.
Yes.
Well, what should we talk about next with our remaining time? What would you like to talk about?
Was it Last of Us?
Do we want to do that? Do we have time to delve in?
We might not have time. We could touch on that episode and the next episode, because this episode was shorter, 60-minute episode. So we could talk about both of those episodes next week.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be a good idea.
Yeah, or we could do all three. We could start all three.
We could just start all three next week. So we'll just catch up on Last of Us since you've caught up. But yeah, I think that'll be next week.
Maybe we should give, because we did maybe say it at the beginning. We should briefly touch on just some quick thoughts on the series for someone who's waiting.
Yes.
I will say I'm very, very excited about this series because I think that for video game adaptation especially, they're doing an amazing job. They're making, from what I'm hearing for the people who've beaten the game and love the game, they're making good changes. The first 2 episodes were very well directed, very well written, very interesting, and I'm just excited to see where it goes because I got worn out with the Walking Dead, and I'm hoping I don't feel that way with this film or series.
Yeah, I know it's gonna have probably 2 seasons. They're gonna do the second season. They'll do the first season. They haven't announced a third game yet, but they might do one. So I mean, they don't want to stray too much, and since the guy who wrote the games is essentially one of the showrunners, I feel like I have very high faith for this series and how it's going. It's just great so far. So
yeah,
definitely,
we will definitely give more in-depth thoughts.
Yes, for next week.
For next week, you guys, and going forward.
Since today was a loaded week. This was a loaded week just with the Oscar nom announcement, and we talking about that.
In our mind, we thought the Oscar thing was probably going to take 30 minutes, but
yes, there's so much
to talk. Do we want to? I pretty much gave a little bit of thoughts on each of the films I watched this week, but I'll just briefly mention all.
Yeah, just come out with what you actually. Yeah, just say what you've actually watched.
Yeah, so since we put this out a little bit later than the past episode, I watched The Banshees of Inisherin. I watched All Quiet on the Western Front. Begrudgingly, I did finish Blonde. I watched RRR, and a surprise film I have not brought up yet. I watched Emily the Criminal.
Ooh.
Which I will say was probably a special recommendation from Brennan. Shout out Brennan again.
Brennan.
It's a very good thriller with Aubrey Plaza and great acting, very tight thriller. So I will leave it at that for now. Just that I'd say it's just a very interesting premise about a woman who's like kind of down on her luck trying to make it, and she takes a kind of a shady deal to like do something technically illegal, and it involves like using fake credit cards, and then she gets the opportunity to do something worse and more risky, and it kind of just derails from there. And so yeah.
Is that all you're talking about this week?
That's all I have.
Okay, I watched 3 films: The Whale, Skinamarink, and New Battles Without Honor and Humanity. So that is actually the 6th movie in the in the Battles Without Honor and Humanity Yakuza franchise. Me and my friend just watch Yakuza movies when he's in town, since he moved away for college and he kind of just lives in Davis area. So we'll watch Yakuza movies and just drink and have fun. So that was one of them. It's definitely weird. Apparently this movie was just like more corny and like joking about the Yakuza than the original 5 movies in the series. But yeah, it was fun. It was just a fun, dumb Yakuza movie, or not dumb, but like fun Yakuza movie that we just watched. And there's tropes in it and all that. It was pretty. What do you expect with those? Skinamarink though, not what I expected. First 40 minutes of that movie is super boring. A lot of just shots and a lot of noises, but nothing really going on. I feel like the movie in itself could have been a 60-minute movie, but it's 100 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get past those first 40 minutes, it is terrifying. It is how I feel at the end of Lake Mungo, which is a movie we watched together. The horror of that is very well done in this, where it's kind of like that. No jump scares, just like a lot of sound, a lot of just creepiness, and it like reels you in and just like unravels you, and it like brings you into this world and encompasses you, surrounds you, and then like is just picking away at you piece by piece with all these just creepiness. And so the second half of that movie is just so good that it like made me like it a lot more. I gave it like about a 7.5, I'd say. But yeah, once you get past that first like 40 minutes, 50 minutes, then it just gets crazy. And it's a really good lo-fi horror movie, very much based on kind of like the internet horror of like, oh God, there's like ones called like the Walton Files and stuff. They're called,
The
oh God, I
creepypasta
forget the
stuff.
name of what?
I've heard it's a lot like a creepypasta.
Yeah, it has the creepypasta. There's a specific word for it. And I can't remember it, but I just said the name of it. But yeah, that was definitely one. And then the last one I watched was The Whale, which was really good. Definitely deserving of just like what it was nominated for. Analog horror, that's what it's called. So analog horror style for Skinamarink. That type of style, and it just made it into a feature-length movie. Very good. But yeah, back to The Whale. He definitely deserved it. Hong Shao definitely deserved it. It's very interesting. It takes place in like one spot. It's very much a one-spot movie. And it felt like you were almost watching a play, not in the sense of like the actual location, but like how it's acted out and like how you're focusing so much on the character and dialogue. It's such a dialogue and like character heavy movie. Not like in that there's a lot of dialogue, but that's what you're focusing on. And so it's really good in that. I really liked it. Some people didn't like some of the food eating scenes, but they're not that bad. I feel like people overhype that for me. Like, oh, the food eating scenes are so gross. And there's like one scene where he gorges himself a lot. And it's like, okay, whatever. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, I definitely really like that movie. I love Brendan Fraser. I've been a huge Brendan Fraser renaissance.
The Renaissance, yeah.
Yes, I've been super happy since he got his first role back, which was Titans. He was in like some other movies too as well. But yeah, it's I'm glad he's back. He's a great guy. I met him at a Comic-Con once. Cool dude. I love him. And so definitely excited that he is getting back in the industry and definitely getting a lot of the praise he deserves. Mummy is one of my favorite movies of all time. So happy to be back, Brendan Fraser. And yeah, that's the 3 I've seen.
Hey, Lucas, have you heard? Brendan Fraser's back.
Brendan Fraser's back. I'm gonna wear that nomination week. There's a Brendan Fraser shirt I own. You're gonna see it soon if you're watching on YouTube.
Very nice. Well, I will definitely touch on all the films I watched more once Lucas has seen them, because then we can do like a dual discussion.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we'll probably
we'll go back to The Whale too.
Yeah, definitely go back to them more and have that discussion about them. And it'll be in the title probably what movie that we've both seen that we'll now be able to talk about. But yeah, we're planning out this week.
Once our watch list cross paths,
yes,
in our journey to try to watch every Oscar-nominated film, which will likely not happen, but we will try our best. You.
Yes.
If you have any specific requests of the Oscar nominees that you want us to talk about or see, please let us know.
Yes, let us know. Best way to comment is go on our YouTube if you're listening on a podcast, or we've told you our social media, so you can always message us.
Exactly. We will chat with you.
Yes. On that note, probably our watch list, and I think that'll do it.
Yeah, I don't have much. I'm gonna be brief because I'm not sure what I'm gonna watch this week. I might aim to watch like all the like on streaming stuff for an Oscar. It's definitely gonna be an Oscar week, but probably gonna watch She Said because I've been getting it in the mail. I'm gonna watch maybe try to watch Causeway or Navalny or any of the like Bardo or all
Bardo's really long.
all the like Netflix stuff that I can already watch. Anything easy right now. So that's kind of like where I'm leaning toward.
Yeah, mine is I'm either gonna watch After Sun or Causeway. I'm definitely gonna watch Banshees. And then I'm gonna watch probably Pinocchio with my girlfriend, and then I think that there's a chance I watch this movie that got re-released in theaters called Brotherhood of the Wolf. Yeah, it has a very interesting cast, and like it has one of my there's like actors I have like attached to for some reason that I really like, and they're not like in a bunch of movies ever. There's like 3 of them. Brendan Fraser was one of them, and he got really big, so I'm happy about that. Or no, he was already big, but he's getting back around, and so I'm happy about that. Caleb Landry Jones I really like. He's another one, and then Mark Dacascos is another guy. He's been in a bunch of stuff from the 90s. He is Iron Chef, but he's in this movie called Brotherhood of the Wolf. It was directed by the guy who directed Silent Hill and that 2014 Beauty and the Beast movie. some French dude, Christophe Gans, but it has Vincent Cassel in it, and it's like a French werewolf movie. So it sounds interesting, but it got a theatrical re-release, so I'm pretty interested to watch it. I'm going to probably see it before work one day. It's like 2.5 hours long for a 2001 movie. That's pretty interesting.
Nice.
And then, last but not least, something I just want to touch about is that Wandering Earth 2 came out, and I might see that. It is a Chinese sci-fi epic. They came out with the first one and got put on Netflix, so I'm going to watch the first one finally. And then I heard the second one is getting compared to like Evangelion-esque like expansiveness and how they're doing it. My friend was like saying that all his friends were telling him that, and then he saw it and he said it was like really good. So I'm definitely more interested in seeing it now, and I'm going to probably watch that this week, the first one at least, and then hopefully get around to the second one. It is in theaters for a little bit, so I'm going to try to get into that.
Nice. Well, that sounds like an exciting potential list of things.
Yes.
Well, Lucas and I told each other before we started this recording that we were going to try to do a shorter show, and we have failed this week, but that is
Definitely
okay.
Failed.
We had a lot to talk about. We had a lot to get off our chest, and well, to be fair, it's Oscar nominations week, so if there was any week to have a longer episode, this was it.
Yes.
So we will try our best to shorten things a little bit going forward for those of you that like shorter content.
Yes.
Or you can let us know if you like longer. We just wanna please y'all.
Yes.
So.
Just let us know if any feedback you guys have. But yeah,
I think that'll do it. So with that, we will look forward to chatting with you guys next week. And thank you again for all the support. And I hope everybody has an awesome. Well, we're still in January. We're getting close to February. end of the month.
End of the month.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And let us know if you have any feedback. Follow us on everything down in the description below, or as we said before. But thank you for tuning in again, if you have. And if not, welcome.
Yes. Well, thanks again, guys. It's been another fun episode of Mile a Minute Movie Talk, and we will see you next week.
Yes, next week we'll have some interesting subjects this time.
Yes.
Outside of Oscar talk.
Yes, we'll branch out a little bit. We'll figure it out. All right. See you guys later.